Hello, fans, and welcome to This Day in Baseball, where we're going to bring you a full radio broadcast of today's game. And before we do that, I just want to thank Classic Baseball Radio, and there's a link in the notes where you can check out their full channel. They have many great radio broadcasts. And while you're listening to today's game, if you want to check out much more about the game and the players, look on the links below, and you're going to see links to player pages, the date the game happened, the year it happened, and the play-by-play. Enjoy the game, and check out the links while you're watching the game, and please don't forget to hit the subscribe button so that every time new content comes out, you're going to get that firsthand. And thank you again for checking out This Day in Baseball, and enjoy the game.
The New York Mets are on the air. Meet the Mets, meet the Mets. Step right up and greet the Mets. Bring your kitty, bring your wife. Guaranteed to have the time of your life because the Mets are really rocking the ball. Knocking those home runs over the wall. East side, west side, everybody's coming down to meet the Mets of New From Shea Stadium, the New York Mets are on the air. Today, the New York Mets beat the Philadelphia Phillies in a doubleheader presented by Rheingold Extra Dry and Viceroy Cigarettes. Well, hi, everybody. This is Bob Murphy with Lindsey Nelson and Ralph Kiner, all set to detail every exciting play of today's doubleheader at Shea Stadium. We hope you have a good supply of Rheingold Extra Dry on hand wherever you're listening along the Rheingold beach. Rheingold is as good to your taste as it is to your thirst because it's brewed extra dry. Smoother, crisper, livelier. Rheingold after Rheingold. Now we're approaching game time and a good time to light up a Viceroy. Scientifically made to taste the way you'd like a filler cigarette to taste. Not too strong, not too light. Viceroy's got the deep weave filter for the taste that's right. Now the lineups for the first game today. Philadelphia will have center fielder John Briggs batting leadoff. Johnny Hernstein playing first base, hitting second. Johnny Callison in right field, batting third. Richie Allen playing third base, hitting cleanup. Wes Covington in left field, batting number 5. Tony Taylor playing second base and hitting sixth. Cookie Rojas will be at shortstop, batting 7th. Gus Triandos behind the plate, batting 8th. On the mound, hitting 9th, right-hander Jim Bunning. For New York, Jim Hickman in center field, batting leadoff. Ron Hunt playing second base, batting second. Eddie Cranepool at first base, hitting third. Joe Christopher in right field, batting cleanup. Jesse Gonder behind the plate, handling the catching chores, batting number 5. Hawk Taylor will be in left field, batting number 6. Charlie Smith playing shortstop, hitting 7th. Amato Sammy Samuel playing short and batting 8th. On the mound and pitching for New York, looking for his 5th win of the year, right-hander Tracy Stoller. Now the umpires are moving toward home plate. This is Frank Sikori's umpiring team. Behind the plate in this game will be Ed Sudol. Paul Pryor will work first. Frank Sikori, the crew chief, will be at second, and Ken Burkhardt will be umpiring at third. You know, there isn't a single job I'd rather have than bringing these Mets ball games to you, and one of the things that makes this job so interesting is telling you about Viceroy. It's really my pleasure, and talking about pleasure, you can't beat my cigarette, Viceroy, because Viceroy is scientifically made to taste the way you'd like a filler cigarette to taste. That's why we say Viceroy's got the taste that's right. That means that Viceroy is not too strong, like some brands that taste as if they didn't have a filter. And Viceroy is not too light, like others that keep you smoking one after another trying to satisfy your taste. Remember, Viceroy is the filter cigarette that's scientifically made to taste the way you'd like a filter cigarette to taste. Not too strong, not too light. Viceroy has got the deep weave filter for the taste that's right. So next time, make it Viceroy. team meeting and the exchange of the batting order slips. Today's doubleheader winding up a 5-game series the Mets will have tomorrow as an open date. Danny Murtaugh and the Pittsburgh Pirates will be here on Tuesday night to open a 3-game series. The Pirates series, which will conclude the current homestand, will be Tuesday night, Wednesday, and Thursday afternoons. Right now, the Pittsburgh Pirates are playing 6 games over 500. They've won 33 and lost 27. They're just 3.5 games out. The Pirates are the number 1 hitting team in the National League on the strong hitting of Roberto Clemente and Willie Stargell, as well as Bob Bailey and the entire cast. As we start today, the Phillies lead the National League by 1.5 games. Giants are in second. The Pirates and the Reds are tied at 3.5 games out. St. Louis 6.5 games back. The Dodgers, the Braves, and the Cubs are all 7.5 games back. And the Houston Colt 45s 8.5 games back, followed by the New York Mets. The night game last night in Cincinnati, the Reds beat the Dodgers by a score of 6-4. Game last night in Cincinnati as the Reds made it 2 straight against the Dodgers. Jim O'Toole, the winner, Don Drysdale, the loser. The Cincinnati attack was paced by Vada Pinson, who hit 2 home runs in the ball game. In the American League, they start the afternoon with the Orioles on top by 1.5 games over the Yankees. The Yankees have moved past the White Sox now into second place on a tremendous pitching job by Whitey Ford. The amazing Whitey Ford has now won 10 in a row. He's 10-1 on the year. His shutout of Chicago in 11 innings yesterday was his 6th shutout of the season. Whitey's all-time winning percentage around 72%, a fantastic figure. Minnesota, 6 games out. Cleveland 7 back. Then come the Red Sox 9 back, followed by Detroit, Los Angeles, Washington, and Kansas City. And the morning papers carried the release of the player's name to the American League All-Star team to oppose the National League All-Stars here at Shea Stadium on Tuesday afternoon, July 7th. The Yankees placing 3, the Twins placed 3, the Angels and the Orioles each placed 1. Right now, the New York Mets are taking the playing field. As the Mets go to the field, Gene Jarvis at the organ plays Meet the Mets. And in just a moment, when Tracy Stallard reaches the pitching mound, Jackie Lee on the public address system here at Shea Stadium will be asking the crowd to rise. The words will be on the message board on the Stadiorama scoreboard in right center field. And the crowd will be invited to sing along as Gene Jarvis plays our national anthem. Stadium in today's doubleheader between the New York Mets and the Philadelphia Phillies. Opening game pitchers are Tracy Stallard and Jim Bunning. Tracy started and went all the way to beat Philadelphia 11-3. The game started by Dennis Bennett in the series in Philadelphia a weekend ago on a Friday night. Tracy's last start was in Pittsburgh. He pitched extremely well and lost a tough 3-2 ball game. Our game today from Shea Stadium being beamed around the world on Armed Forces Radio. And to all of you serving our country so well, wherever you may be, from all of us here at Shea Stadium on this Father's Day, We hope it's a happy and a pleasant day for you, and a very big hello from all of us. Now Johnny Briggs, the rookie center fielder from Patterson, New Jersey, a left-hand hitter, steps in to lead off against Tracy Stallard. Tracy, lifetime against Philadelphia, has won 2 and lost 4. This year he has won 1 and lost 1. He lost the second game of the season in Philadelphia 4-1. 3 of the 4 runs scored were unearned. Now here's Tracy into his windup, and the first pitch of the day is a curve low, 1 ball and no strikes. Setting up the Mets defensively, Eddie Cranepool playing first. Ron Hunt will be at second. Charlie Smith playing short, and the third baseman is Amado Samuel. In the outfield, Hawk Taylor in left. Jim Hickman is in center, and around in right field, Joe Christopher. Next pitch on the way. Off-speed delivery, a little bit inside. 2 balls and no strikes. Jesse Gunter working behind the plate, handling Tracy Stallard. Tracy, in his recent starts, has been given an extra day of rest as the result of bone chips in his elbow. His arm stiffens up after a pitching assignment. Today, with the flurry of doubleheaders, he's trying it on the normal 3 days rest. Actually pitching on the 4th day, and the fastball is over for a called strike. And because Casey does have him starting a day sooner than he normally would. As the game gets underway, Larry Bernard is warming up in the bullpen. Now the pitch, a fastball low, 3-1. Tracy's last pitching assignment was Wednesday night, a complete game against the Pittsburgh Pirates, or 8 innings of it, in which he lost 3-2. Now the windup, here's the pitch on the way, low and inside, and Briggs has drawn a walk leading off the afternoon. Temperature hovering near 90 degrees in the greater New York area as the Mets and the Phillies get going in their big afternoon of baseball. Now the hitter is Johnny Hernstein. Both of the Mets starters a little bit handicapped in today's game. Tracy working on a rest period, a day shy of the usual amount. And Frank Larry, who starts the second game, pulled a leg muscle in his last start against the Phillies. Greatly improved, but still not what he would like for it to be. Now Johnny Hernstein batting. Johnny hitting at 276. Tall, well-proportioned left-hand hitter. Fastball is dragged on the inside corner. Johnny Callison, and a fine all-around Major League performer waiting on deck. Now Briggs, a fast runner, leads off first. Bunt down the first base line. Good bunt. Picked up by Cranepool. Throws to Hunt covering in time, and they bunt him over. Johnny Hernstein surrendering his turn at bat to try and help build a run. Bunting Johnny Briggs across to second base. Scoring the game, the play goes 3-4. Eddie Cranepool to Ron Hunt covering at first. Now Johnny Callison comes up. Callison, a 300 hitter with 8 home runs and 33 runs batted in. Johnny Callison and Richie Allen are sharing the Philadelphia Phil RBI lead at the moment. Anytime you check a pitcher's credentials to see how he's doing, you always compare hits allowed as against innings pitched. And if a pitcher who has worked quite a bit has given up fewer hits than innings pitched, you know he's had good stuff. Tracy Stallard, in 91 innings this year, has allowed just 83 hits. Now the pitch on the way. Breaking ball off the outside corner, 1 ball and no strikes. The regular starters on the Mets mound staff, Galen Cisco has the best earned run average, 3.5. Then Jack Fisher, followed by Tracy Stallard. Jack Fisher now the top winner with 5 victories. Callison takes a curve on the inside corner, a call strike. 1 ball and 1 strike on Johnny Callison. Callison, a real good clutch hitter. Phils describe him as the nearest thing to a superstar they have on their ball club. And Johnny is still a young player with a lot of future out in front of him, and he's already established as a top-notcher. Swing and a miss on a curve again down low and inside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, for those of you who had other plans on this Father's Day and who might be following our broadcast while driving in an automobile en route to some place where you plan to spend the day, or perhaps you're enjoying the luxury of the beaches in the New York area, we hope you have a very pleasant day and that you'll enjoy following the baseball from Shea Stadium throughout the afternoon. Now Tracy checks the runner. Here's the pitch. Off the outside corner. It's 2-2. Tracy working inside with the curve and outside with the fastball against Johnny Callison. Richie Allen, red-hot rookie third baseman of the Phils, batting cleanup, occupies the on-deck circle. Let's have the infield a stride to right, the outfield a fan around toward right and rather deep. Foul ball, back into the screen, no play. I want to tell you, sitting in the field box areas and in the upper deck area here at Shea Stadium, you can get about as good a suntan as you can any place in America today. Now Tracy checking with Jesse Gander. For Philadelphia, Harry Peanuts Lowry coaching at first, George Matt at third. Foul ball, he went after a curve, hit it back toward the press level and out of play. Breeze from the prevailing direction, blowing from right across toward left. The skies are partially clear and a brilliant blue. Just here and there, an occasional white, puffy cumulus cloud. Gonna get me?
Let's see now. I'll have to give you a lot of credit for that because they look pretty puffy today.
Yeah, a fella can fluff up his pillow that way when he went to bed at night. He'd get buried in it. Now the pitch on the way. Foul ball back over the screen and out of play. The count remains on Johnny Callison. Baseball going around the major leagues. We'll be passing along all the scores as they come in. Team right here in New York has the early start. Actually, the same time as one other doubleheader, the Pittsburgh Pirates-Chicago Cub doubleheader in Pittsburgh. Next pitch on the way. A swing and a miss. Striking out on the curve in close to it. Two away with a runner in scoring position in the opening inning. Batter is Richie Allen.
Number 15.
Richie hitting .295 with 13 home runs to top the Philly club and 33 runs batted in. Every time I dare talk about the cloud formations, that former Navy pilot, Mr. Ralph Canner, checks me for accuracy. The pitch on the way. Slider off the outside corner. 1 ball and no strikes.
Got a kick out of Bud Hill, who flies the Mets around most of the time in their charter flights, and he said we butchered up pretty good.
Yeah, I bet we do at that. Now Tracy checks the runner at second. Now the pitch on the way. Fastball off the ribs, taken. 2 balls and no strikes. Just underway. A lot of good seats remaining here at Shea Stadium. We hope that if you haven't finalized your plans, you'll plan to join us. Now the pitch on the way. Smash to short. Base hit going into left field. Rounding third and digging for the plate is Johnny Briggs. He's in to score. And the Phils lead 1-0. The Mets have held Allen pretty well in check in this series. 4 hits and 12 times at bat. But Richie Allen picks up his 34th RBI with a sharp single to left field, and the hitter now is Wes Covington. Wes hitting at .255, 6 homers and 23 RBIs. He's a dangerous hitter. Covington bends toward the plate from the waist. Eddie Greenpool holds against the runner. And the pitch on the way. Low and inside. Beautiful save by Jesse Gonder. Jesse had to dive right into Covington's feet to backhand that low pitch. As the result of the Friday night rainout between the Yankees and the White Sox, the Mayor's Trophy game cannot be played in Shea Stadium tomorrow night as scheduled. The Yankees will be holding over to make the game up against the White Sox in Chicago. Those holding rain checks for the Mayor's Trophy game, hold on to them. They will be good when the new date is selected. Hit hard, fouled on the first baseline. Inside changeup thrown by Stollard, ripped foul by Wes Covington. 1 ball, 1 strike. Mets are hoping that by the end of next week, their casualty list will be greatly reduced. Right now, they have shortstop Roy McMillan, George Altman, Frank Thomas, and Timmy Harkness all sidelined. Altman is available for pinch hitting. Rod Kniehl is also sidelined. He re-injured his ankle playing yesterday, and I don't think Rod could play at all today. The 1-1 pitch, foul back into the screen. Tim Harkness is working out again. Tim has been on the disabled list after hurting his shoulder crashing into a wall in San Francisco. And on days like this one in particular, when you're up against a sidearm fastballer like a Jim Bunning, you need all the left-hand hitting you can get into that lineup. One ball and 2 strikes on Wes Covington. Now Stollard in the set position. Down comes the pitch. Way outside. Count even. 2 balls and 2 strikes. This has been the first red-hot summertime weekend since in May. May and June got a little confused this year. There seemed to be more hot days in May than in June. Maybe it only seemed that way. Now the pitch on the way. A foul ball back over the screen into the lowest level, and then it bounces all the way back down into the field box level. Tracy Stollard, a 6'5" right-hander from Harold, Virginia. Tracy came to the New York Mets in what has turned out to be one of the best trades they've made in their brief history. There goes the runner. The pitch is hit on the ground hard. Ron Hunt racing for it. Backhand pickup. Go to first. The side is out. Good play in the field by second baseman Ron Hunt, a real standout. Ron racing towards second, made a backhand grab of a hard grounder, and then made the play on to first base in time. 1 run, 1 hit. No errors, 1 left on. Score middle of the first. Bills 1, and the New York Mets coming to bat. Big scene along the Rhine-Gold beat this year. Well, outside of your house and mine in Shea Stadium, I'd have to say it was the New York World's Fair. You know, when you go out there, don't miss Rhine-Gold's Little Old New York. It's an authentic corner of New York City as it was back in 1904. There's a Victorian-style restaurant, the Rhine-Gold Tavern, a sidewalk cafe, and a cool village green, the perfect place to relax. Take your shoes off, wiggle your toes in the grass after all that walking you've done. And while you're at Little Old New York, enjoying a refreshing Rhine-Gold Extra Dry. As good to your taste as it is to your thirst, because it's brewed extra dry. So come on out to Rhine-Gold's Little Old New York, a great place to meet your friends at the New York World's Fair. Will lead off for New York against the veteran right-hander Jim Bunning. Bunning has won 6 and lost 2. Against New York this year, Jim has won 2 and lost none. Bunning beat Tracy Stollard 4-1, the second game of the National League season. Here's the pitch on the way. Bounced foul, he went for a breaking ball. 3 of his last 4 decisions. Time out against New York last weekend, Bunning beat the Mets 8-2. Curve is fouled back up against the screen. That was the Saturday afternoon game started by Frank Larry. Game in which Larry pulled a muscle in his leg and left after pitching 5 innings, trailing in the game 4-1. Frank was the loser. So Frank will try and get his revenge against the Phils in the second game of today's doubleheader. Bunning, the tall, needle-thin right-hander, delivers a breaking ball over a strike 3 call, the curve at the knees. Bunning, a very successful hurler with the Detroit Tigers for 9 years. Extremely tough on the right-hand hitter. He actually has a much better ballpark going for him this year in Philadelphia than he had during his 9 years in Detroit. Ballpark in Detroit has always been an outstanding hitter's ballpark with a very short porch in right field. Johnny Mack Stadium in Philadelphia is also a real good hitter's ballpark, but they have a high wall in right field. Here's the pitch on the way. Fastball to Ron Hunt at the outside corner. Calls strike 1. Ron batting at .333 with 2 home runs and 19 RBIs. They will release the selections of the National League All-Star team in the Tuesday afternoon papers. Here's the pitch on the way. A grounder on the right side. To his glove side is Tony Taylor. He throws on to Hernstein in time for the out. There will certainly be a lot of disappointed Mets fans if Ron Hunt does not make the All-Star club. Ron is out hitting every second baseman in the National League by a wide margin. A tremendous hustler. Defensive player. He's an all-around ball player in every way. Mets have found themselves in a short span of time an outstanding young second baseman who should have a great future. Inside to Eddie Cranepool, 1 ball and no strikes. Now Bunning winding the pitch to Cranepool, a fastball in for a call strike, 1 ball and 1 strike. Are opening the afternoon, leading the National League and the second-place Giants by a game and a half. They lost a game of their lead when the Mets knocked them off yesterday 7-3, while the Giants and the Pirates were winning. A high, hot fly to short left. After it is Rojas, the shortstop, near the left field line. He takes it for the out. 1-2-3 inning, a strong start for Jim Bunning, and at the end of 1 the score, the Phillies won and the New York Mets nothing. No game tomorrow, and those of you holding rain checks for the Mayor's Trophy game originally scheduled on the 15th of June, be sure and hold on to them. The Mets and the Yankees will confer and select a new date. And the new date for the benefit game will be announced in the very near future. Danny Murtaugh's Pittsburgh Pirates with Roberto Clemente and Willie Stargell are in town on Tuesday night, Wednesday afternoon, and Thursday afternoon. For those of you unable to attend the Pirates series, we'll be broadcasting all 3 of the games. We'll be televising Tuesday night and Wednesday afternoon, but on Thursday afternoon, there will be no television. Following the Thursday game, the Mets go on the road. They start their road trip at Milwaukee, go to San Francisco, double back to Houston, then back to the Los Angeles Dodgers, and then return home. When the Mets come home, the next ball game following that Thursday game with the Pirates in Shea Stadium will be the All-Star game on Tuesday, July 7th. After the All-Star game, the Mets open a homestand against the St. Louis Cardinals. Tickets are on sale at the advanced sale window here at the beautiful Shea Stadium. Also, for your convenience in Midtown Manhattan at Grand Central Station near the foot of the 42nd Street and Vanderbilt Avenue ramp, in the Long Island waiting room of the Penn Station, and in Macy's at the Walt Whitman Shopping Center in Huntington, Long Island. Tony Taylor, the second baseman, leads off against Tracy Stoller. You know, on a scorching hot day like this with the humidity rather high, the pitchers will usually lose 8, 10, 12 pounds at a game. It's the kind of weight that you're dehydrating and you get it back in a hurry. 1 ball and no strikes on Tony Taylor. Now Tracy out of his windup, down comes the pitch. Fastball over a strike on the outside corner. During his brilliant career, our broadcasting colleague Ralph Kiner played many a day game in St. Louis in July and August, and the ball players will always tell you But it gets about as hot out there for an afternoon ball game over the weekend as you can imagine. Now the 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Ralph, did you ever have a big weight drop on a Sunday doubleheader in St. Louis?
Well, I many times would lose 7 to 9 pounds in a doubleheader, and also many times in St. Louis it would be so hot, the ground would radiate so much heat that you would come into the dugout and stick your feet, shoes and all, into an ice cold bucket of water.
And it really felt good, I'll bet.
Couldn't wait to do it.
1-2 delivery. That'll kind of run your shoe bill up, though, won't it?
It sure does. That leather would stretch on out and you'd slosh around, but boy, by that time you were ready to do it. We'd also put grass on the top of our hats in St. Louis. That would help to break the sun coming on through and the heat there.
Even count on Tony Taylor at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch on the way. Ground ball, tap foul. Ralph, on a day like that, when you lose that much weight dehydrating, as you sweat so much on a hot day, how long does it take to get that weight back?
Well, you get it back by the next day because you drink a lot of water after the game and put it back on. Of course, you take salt pills now, and that helps a lot. And I got a kick out of Ken Venturi in his quote about the fact that he took salt pills in that second 18-hole round, and that kept him going. And for a minute there, he thought the doctor who gave him the pills, he gave him so many, was betting on someone else.
That was a remarkable win for Ken Venturi at the Open Golf Tourney. Now the breaking ball is inside 3-2. That's quite a story. Here's a fellow that last year, Ralph, I guess, has had more than his share of bad luck and hard luck in winning.
He certainly has, but he has hung in there, and it's paid off. And this happens many times in a player's career in any sport. They have bad slumps of maybe a week or a month or sometimes even as long as Ken, but if you have the talent to start with that he had at the beginning, you usually come on back if you're physically able to do so.
Now Tracy out of his windup, the payoff pitch too high, and he walks the leadoff batter again. Tracy didn't like the call at all. He thought he had him struck out.
Number 16.
Warren Spahn recently was saying, Ralph, that to be a successful pitcher, probably the most important single thing you have to do is get the first batter out in the inning.
There is no doubt about that, Bob. The percentage of the batter scoring from first base with no one out is much greater than with 1 or 2 men out.
Now the batter is Cookie Rojas, the speedy shortstop, right-hand batter, and he's been wielding a hot bat. Rojas hitting at .354. We'll give our stations an opportunity to identify right after Cookie Rojas takes his turn at bat. Throw to first, it's not in time.
According to figures that don't take in the bunt play, you score from first base with no one out 42% of the time. With one out, only 28% of the time.
Here's the bunt play on a sacrifice picked up by Tracy. The play is to first in time for the out. Once again, the Phillies, who have good pitching and great defense, go for 1 run and bunt the man over. And right here we pause for station identification. This is the New York Mets Baseball Network.
8:10 on the dial. This is WGY Schenectady, your station for all New York Mets baseball games.
Bob Murphy with Ralph Kiner and Lindsey Nelson were in the second inning at Shea Stadium. First game of a doubleheader. Phil's lead, 1-0. They have Tony Taylor on second, 1 out after a good sacrifice bunt. And the hitter now is 11-year veteran Gus Triandos, the Philly backstop. Big right-hand hitter, and he's strong. Pitch by Tracy. Long drive hit deep to left. It's headed toward the bullpen. It's a base hit into the left field corner. Taylor is coming around to score, and Tremendous goes into second base with a run-scoring double. During his big years with the Baltimore Orioles, Bird fans in Baltimore always like to refer to Gus Triandos as Gus Tremendous. Line double into the left field corner, putting Philadelphia in front 2-0. Now the hitter is Jim Bunning. Bunning, right-hand batter. Here's the pitch on the way. Fastball over, strike 1 call. Pitchers on the Orioles staff who all came up about 18, 19, and 20. They're all now 25, 26. Have nothing but praise for Triandos' ability behind the plate. Now a 2-strike count. You talk to fellows like Jack Fisher, who now tops the Mets staff in victories with 5. And he'll tell you that Triandos had a great deal to do with helping to develop his pitching style. He handled him so well and called the game so well behind the plate. Foul ball back. You know, over the years, I guess you don't like to use the word con, but let's use the word psychological. The catcher's work, in addition to his actual physical prowess, he has to have a lot of psychological weapons going to handle each member of the pitching staff in a different way. That's probably why that when you ask ball players around the league who's the best catcher, you usually get more different answers than if you ask about other positions. Now the two-strike pitch off the outside corner. It's a difficult thing to determine if you're on the other ball club whether a catcher is calling a good ball game or not, isn't it, Ralph?
It's very, very difficult to tell. I think it's one of the toughest positions to evaluate, and you can really only do it if you're a pitcher pitching to a catcher.
1-2 delivery to Bunning. A curve line to short. Caught by Charlie Smith on a jumping grab. Hard line drive, and Charlie left the ground to go up and take it over his head. 2 men down. Now Jesse Gander is going out to talk to Tracy Stallard. Rookie center fielder Johnny Briggs, the leadoff batter for Philadelphia, coming on now for his second time at bat. He drew a walk and later scored after they bunted him over in the first inning. Each time in the first 2 innings, the Phillies have used the sacrifice bunt to help build a run, and both times it has paid off. Richie Allen singled home Briggs after he had been bunted over in the first. Tony Taylor romped home after he had been bunted over. He was brought home by Gus Triandos. Curve is in, strike called on Johnny Briggs. Young speedster from Patterson, New Jersey, has good size. He's strong, and they play him around toward right. He's had only 1 year in pro ball, and that was a big year at Bakersfield, California last season. Now the pitch on the way. In the third, he gets away from Jesse Gander. Moving on to third goes Gus Triandos. Ball was interfered with, I believe, by the ball boy back over by the dugout, and that brings the Phillies to their feet. Came down off the coaching lines at third asking about the ground rule. The ball was definitely handled for a moment by the ball boy sitting right at the corner of the dugout. One thing I know, Gus Triandos, the base runner, there wasn't any way he was going to try and score. Big Gus is one of the slowest guys in the game. Pitch to Briggs, slider a little bit outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. Wild pitch on Tracy Stallard enables Triandos to move over to third. I once saw Gus Triandos get an inside the park home run in Baltimore.
In all the years that Gus has been playing, he has 1 stolen base.
Now the pitch on the way. Taken outside, 3-1.
Incidentally, Bob, how many balls fell down in the inside the park home run?
Waiting for the big airliner to pass overhead sometimes they get just a little bit tough to compete with because, as you know, Shea Stadium's right in the hub of all forms of transportation. Towering pop-up down the first baseline. Eddie Cranepool comes up the line. He's under it. And Eddie takes it from side to side. 1 run, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on. At the end of an inning and a half, Phillies 2 and the New York Mets nothing. Now here's music to stamp out first by. Christopher comes up against Jim Bunning. Joe has 7 home runs and 27 runs batted in, batting at .297. Joe had 2 home runs in the game yesterday. One of the 2 went over the wall in right center over the 396-foot mark. Joe now has hit more home runs this year than any previous year in his career. It's over for a ball strike. Christopher has been especially strong against the Phillies and the Giants. Now Jim Bunning looking into Gus Triandos for his sign. Jesse Gander is the on-deck hitter, and then Hawk Taylor. Hawk Taylor had a day to remember here in Shea Stadium yesterday. 2 singles and 2 home runs, each with a man on. Curve taken high. 1 ball, 1 strike. Southgate, Kentucky right-hander deals it and is fouled off the end of the bat, swiveling over into the dugout of the New York Mets. First game of the doubleheader today is game 66 for New York. Almost before you know it, it'll be the midpoint of the baseball season. Tradition says the teams leading the league on the 4th of July will go on to win the pennant. The 1-2 delivery, high, 2-2. Naturally, it doesn't always work out that way. Wes Westrom coaching at first. Don Hefner on the lines at third. 2-2 delivery. High fly ball. Puts it away for the out. Nobody on. Jesse Gander will hit. Jesse batting at .265. Jesse Gander. Nobody on. We're in the last of the second. The Phillies own a 2-0 lead in the first game of today's doubleheader. Pitch thrown to Jesse. Foul ball. Back upstairs. No play. Mets have had only 3 rainouts all year, aside from the Mayor's Trophy game. On their very first 7-game homestand after playing the first weekend, they had 3 games in a row rained out, 2 with the Phillies and 1 with the Cubs. Tap foul on the ground, coming right straight back. Now Jim Bunning, 6-2 on the year and 2-0 against New York, has a 2-strike count on left-hand batter Jesse Gander. Change-up, and it's popped up. Oh, a beautiful change-up. In foul ground, Triandos is under it and makes the grab near the on-deck circle. Ralph was at Rip Sewell. They used to always say you put a little on and you take a little off and then you throw on your Uncle George.
That's right. That was Rip Sewell. And he had one of the greatest changes in the history of baseball with that Cooper pitch of his. Bobo Newsom used to throw one similar to it, but not as high, and Rip had great control of it.
When they throw you a great changeup like the one just thrown by Jim Bunning, it's hard to do anything about it. Curve outside to Hawk Taylor, 1 ball and no strikes. Hawk raised his average 25 points yesterday with his 4 hits and 5 times at bat. He drove in 4 of the 7 runs scored by New York. Joe Christopher drove in 2 and Eddie Kranepool 1. Low and away. Eddie Kranepool actually delivered to the plate what turned out to be the winning run. He drove in the 4th run. That was the only run of the 7 not driven in by a home run. Now Bunning over the head. Down comes the pitch. High fly ball into right field. Johnny Callison walks in 3 steps and takes it for the out. 6 in a row for Jim Bunning over the first 2 innings, and the score at the end of 2, Phillies 2 and the New York Mets, nothing. Mets and the Yankees will be announcing the new date for the benefit game, the Mayor's Trophy game, to raise money for the Sandlot baseball program in New York. The game was originally set on the 15th of June and was rained out. Then rescheduled for tomorrow night, but the Yankee rainout in Chicago on Friday night has erased that possibility. Now the two clubs, the Mets and the Yankees, are conferring and arranging for a new date. Those of you holding rain checks for the Mayor's Trophy game, we had, I would estimate, about 30,000 in the stadium at the time of the rainout on the 15th of June. Be sure and hang on to your rain checks, and they will be good when the game is played here in Shea Stadium. When you visit the fabulous World's Fair, be sure and pay a visit to Rheingold's Little Old New York. Enjoy this authentic corner of New York City as it was in 1904. Well, I can well imagine that in Pelham, New York this morning there was a flurry of excitement in the Kiner home with the Kiners and the youngsters all gathering around Dad to, shall I guess it was a necktie, Ralph?
No, I got a nice pair of pajamas.
Hey, that's great. I saw Mike and Scotty at the game today. Ralph has two boys, Mike and Scotty, and a wonderful little girl named Casey.
Well, I don't know how it worked out, but I brought the boys to the ball game. It should have been the other way around.
Well, they knew you could get on a pass.
Well, we're moving now to the top of the third. The first pitch by Tracy Stoddard is inside to John Hermstein. It's ball one. Hermstein had to jump away. Tracy has walked the first man he has pitched to in each of the first two innings. And with one base hit in each inning, the Phillies lead 2-0. Both times G. Maka sacrificed the runner down to second, and both times the runner scored. There's a drive deep to right, but it's curving foul, and this one is really up in the stand. That's the longest foul ball ever hit in this ballpark, and it was caught out in the third deck by a man about 15 rows up, and he caught it with his bare hand. Oh, he was...
The guy caught it barehanded.
He was playing perfect position on that one. The ball fouled by about 20 feet and caught there very easily. That ball up in the third deck of the park here, the longest foul ball hit in the ballpark so far. So Tracy has a 1-1 strike count. Phillies lead 2-0. And Stoddard back again. A change-up curve is on the inside corner. So the count now in favor of Tracy Stoddard. 1 ball, 2 strikes. After Hermstein, the batter will be John Callison, followed by Richie Allen. Allen has driven in a run. Another run driven in by Gus Triandos, the catcher. Now Stoddard at 1-2, and the pitch is swung on and missed the curveball, dug out of the dirt. The tag made by Jesse Gonder, and John Hermstein is struck out. Second strikeout for Tracy Stoddard. 1 out here in the top of the third, and the batter will be Johnny Callison. John was the first strikeout victim. Picked up by Tracy Stoddard. That strikeout came in the first inning. Callison, a left-hand batter. John batting .298 with his one-time at bat. He started the ball game at .300. And the first pitch is a good curve in there, first strike. John has 8 home runs, 33 runs batted in. He's had a good series against the Mets. 5 hits and 13 times up, including a home run and a triple. Now Stoddard back again. And again a curve. This one dug out of the dirt inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Mets and Phils have played 9 times this year. They have played half their ball games. Phils have won 7, the Mets 2. Now at 1-1, the pitch back to Callison. Hit deep to right field. A line drive. Moving back Joe Christopher. He makes the catch. Right next to the warning track. That ball on the line to Joe Christopher for the out. 2 men out here in the top of the third. The Phillies lead 2-0 on 2 base hits. And the batter is Richie Allen. Richie with a run batted in on a single in the first inning. Now has 34 for the year. He leads the club. He has 13 home runs. Also tops the club in that department. He's batting .298. Allen with 5 hits and 13 times up in the series. And the first pitch is a curveball as Tracy misses outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Phillies lead the National League by 1.5 games. They have won 36 and lost 23. 1-0 delivery, a fastball too low. It's ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. San Francisco Giants in second place. Game and a half back. Pittsburgh in third place, tied with the Cincinnati Reds, 3.5 back. Then St. Louis, 6.5 back in fifth. Next pitch outside, it's ball 3. 3 balls, no strikes. As Bob told you earlier, Cincinnati had taken 3 straight from the Los Angeles Dodgers. Dodgers in 6th place now, 7.5 games behind. They're tied with Milwaukee and Chicago. Next pitch back is outside, ball 4. So Tracy Stoddard on 4 pitches walks Richie Allen. And Tracy now has given up a walk in the first 3 innings. 1 in the first, that run scored. 1 in the second, that run scored. And now a man at first base with 2 men out, and Wes Covington coming up. Wes was out on a good play by Ron Hunt at second base. Ron right now testing against the sun, as the sun comes out more brightly here at Shea Stadium. The Phillies lead 2-0, 2 men on top of the third. Covington, the left-hand batter, hitting .254. He has 6 home runs, 23 runs batted in. And the first pitch is inside, a fastball for ball 1. Wes in this series is 0 for 2. He pinch hit in the previous time at bat, flied out to center field. 1 ball, no strikes. Allen being held on at first base by Ed Kranepool. Now Stoddard back again. A curveball lined to right field. Joe Christopher moving over by the foul line, and he one-hands it to make the play. Joe Christopher, a one-hand catch right at the foul line in fair territory to retire the side. 2 good plays by Joe in the outfield. In the inning, no runs, no hits, no errors, a walk, a man left on base, and the score at the end of 2.5. The Phillies 2, and that's nothing. And now here's Bob.
You know, the real knowledgeable hitter, the fellow who is quite a student of the game, quite naturally will be very careful in selecting his bat. He'll try the feel and the swing of all the different models and all the different sizes and pick out the one that's right for him. Same thing goes for filter cigarettes. Look them all over and you'll hit on Viceroy. Because Viceroy is scientifically made to taste the way you'd like a filter cigarette to taste. Not too strong, like some filter brands that taste as if they didn't have a filter. And not too light, like others, you know the kind you keep smoking one after another trying to satisfy your taste. But Viceroy, now that's a different story. Viceroy is not too strong, not too light. Viceroy's got a deep weave filter for the taste that's right. So fans, if you haven't already tried Viceroy, the time to do it is the very next time you buy cigarettes. Pick up that pack of Viceroy and see if you don't agree. Viceroy is not too strong, not too light. Viceroy's got the taste that's right. Now it's the home third inning, and here again is Ralph.
Okay, Bob, first man up is Charlie Smith. He looks at a fastball from Jim Bunning. It's called strike 1. Bunning has pitched to 6 men so far in this ball game. He has given up no runs and no hits. The Phillies lead 2-0. Pitch back to Smith is swung on, line foul down the left field side. 1 ball, hit hard, but foul by about 40 feet. And Smith has an 0-2 count. Charlie batting .235. He has 2 hits and 11 times up in the series. 7 home runs, 23 runs batted in. Jim Bunning, big, strong right-hander, making his initial appearance in Shea Stadium. Now 2 strikes. Curveball is fouled off the end of the bat, taking him 1 hop by Sam Well, the on-deck batter. After Sam Well, the batter will be Tracy Stoddard. No one out, bottom half of the third. Bunning with a record of 6 wins and 2 losses, now back again. And he misses with a fastball outside. It's ball 1. Both Jim Bunning and Art Mahaffey, 2 strong right-handers for the Phillies, throw very much alike. Both of them come across their body and sort of crossfire to a right-hand batter. They both have similar type deliveries, and both throw hard. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The pitch back swung on a miss, strike 3. And Bunning picks up his second strikeout. He had Jim Hickman as his first batter in the first. That brings up Sammy Samuel. Samuel batting .178. 3 for 9 9 in the series. He has no home runs, 4 runs batted in. Phillies lead 2-0. They have 2 runs on 2 hits. The Mets have no runs and no hits. First pitch to Samuel. Looked at a fastball. It's in there for a strike. Phillies with John Hernstein at first base, Tony Taylor at second base, Cookie Rojas at short, and Richie Allen at third. Pitch back, sort of looped out to short, taken in the air by the shortstop Rojas for the out. Looping line drive that was sinking very quickly. Rojas made the catch right off his shoe tops. Now with 2 men down, the batter will be Tracy Stallard. Tracy, the 9th man to bat against Jim Bunning. Jim has retired the first 8. Stallard has 7 hits and 32 times up this year. He's batting .219 with 1 run batted in. Right-hand batter. And the first pitch is hit in the air into left field, high in the air. Moving over is Wes Covington by the foul line. Now he waits, and he makes the catch to retire the side. So Jim Bunning has worked through 9 in a row in 3 innings for the Philadelphia Phillies. And the Mets have no runs and no hits. And the score at the end of 3, Philadelphia 2, the Mets nothing. Say, did you ever notice when a woman fills an ice tray, she never lets the water run to the top? A man usually does fill an ice tray all the way to the rim. And he usually gets some of that water on the kitchen floor, but that's life. Just another difference between men and women. You know, another thing, women buy a lot of beer here along the Rheingold beat, but their man usually tells them which beer to buy. That's why Rheingold Extra Dry turns up in so many refrigerators. Fact is, Rheingold is as good to your taste as it is to your thirst. Brewed Extra Dry, that's why. A very special way of brewing beer that gives Rheingold such a splendid smoothness. So, you out there along the Rheingold beat, how about a big cold glass of that favorite beer? Rheingold is as good to your taste as it is to your thirst. Rheingold after Rheingold. And as we said yesterday, this too, again, a Rheingold day. It's a warm day, a baseball day too. First game of 2 if you're around the area. Still some good seats available at the ballpark. A lot of baseball coming your way. The Mets playing the Philadelphia Phillies. They lead in the National League by 1.5 games. Final games of the series. The Mets playing a long 5-game series with Philadelphia, necessitated by the fact that the Phils were rained out in their 2 previous appearances here at Shea Stadium. Phillies will make only 1 more appearance in Shea Stadium this year. Tuesday, the Mets play a night game against the Pittsburgh Pirates. They're in 3rd place in the National League race, 3.5 games back. And they will play a day game on Wednesday and a day game on Thursday, and that will complete the homestand. Right here, we're in the top of the 4th. The Phils lead 2-0. The first man up, the leadoff batter, Tony Taylor. He takes a strike as Tracy Stallard starts off. Taylor batting .236. He has walked and scored a run. Stallard back at 1 strike with a fastball outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Tracy making his 15th start. He has not appeared in relief for the Mets this year. He has a record of 4 wins and 8 losses. And at 1-1, the pitch to Taylor is bunted and bunted well down the third base side. Stallard over, picks it up, goes to first base, gets it. Good play by Tracy Stallard. He picked that ball up with his bare hand and threw to first base, and they just did get Tony Taylor. So for the second time in a row, after giving up walks to leadoff men in the first 2 innings and the run scored, Stallard has picked up the first man out. Did this in the 3rd and in the 4th. Now the batter will be Cookie Rojas. Cookie, a right-hand batter, batting .354. 1 home run, 9 runs batted in. And the first pitch is a curveball at that for strike 1. Rojas has been at bat 82 times. He has 29 hits. He is playing in his 29th game this year. Stallard at 1 strike. Again with the curve, it bounces in the dirt, goes back to the screen. The count 1 ball, 1 strike, and we pause now for station identification. This is the New York Mets Baseball Network.
810 on the dial, this is WGY Schenectady, your station for all New York Mets baseball games.
Ralph Kiner along with Bob Murphy and Lindsey Nelson from Shea Stadium. Phillies lead 2-0. And Stallard with the next pitch is hit right through the middle. Coming over the shortstop, the second baseman, neither can get to it. Ron Hunt finally flags it down out in shallow center field, and Rojas has a base hit. So Rojas, who has been a red-hot batter for the Phils, picks up one right through the middle. 3 players flagged at it. The ball wasn't hit very hard. Stoddard made one pass. Charlie Smith then tried it. He couldn't catch up with it. Then Ron Hunt actually got sort of to it, slowed it down a little bit, and then picked it up about 60 feet and back at second base in shallow center field. The base hit, the third by the Phillies. They have a runner at first base now with 1 out. And the batter is Gus Triandos. And the first pitch is swung on, a hard swing by Gus for strike 1. Triandos doubled his first time up the drive in the second run of the game for the Phils. His 1-for-1 giving him a .262 batting average. He has 1 home run and 10 runs batted in. The pitch back is a fastball inside, moving Triandos away from the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike. Have had base runners in the first 4 innings of this game. They have 2 runs and 3 hits. The Mets have no runs and no hits and no base runners. The runner goes, the pitch taken, a throw by Gonder is a perfect throw, and he throws him out. Play made by Ron Hunt at second base, and Jesse Gonder gunned that ball down there as Rojas had a big jump, and it took a perfect throw to get the man. Runner raced off the bases now. They count 1 ball, 1 strike. Make it 2 balls, 1 strike. 2 men out, top of the 4th. And the pitch back, bounced to third. A high hopper taken by Sam Wall. A throw to first base and plenty of time, and that retires inside. In the inning, no runs, 1 hit. No errors, no one left on base. And the score at the end of 3 1/2. The Phillies 2, the Mets nothing. Here's some weekend enjoyment music.
There's a whole lot of living being done. A whole lot of living and a lot of fun. Where true real lovers meet. Along to Rhinegold Beach. Rhinegold is as good to your taste as it is to your shirt. Cause it's brewed extra dry. Rhinegold is as good to your taste as it is to your shirt. So get where the ribbon's being done, where the action is and all the fun on the Rhinegold side of the street. Along the Rhinegold Beach. Rhinegold is as good to your taste as it is to your shirt. Cause it's brewed extra dry. Rhinegold is as good to your taste as it is to your shirt. Rhinegold after Rhinegold. Rhinegold after Rhinegold.
Bottom half of the 4th. Jim Hickman leads off for the Mets as they trail 2 to nothing. Jim batting for the second time. His first time up, he was called out on the curveball. Jim, a right-hand batter, hitting .238. Bunning had pitched to 9 men, got them all out. And the first pitch. Curveball breaking in on the inside corner for a strike. Background of Let's Go Mets. Another big crowd on hand here at Shea Stadium. Running into the windup and back again. And the pitch is swung on. A hard swing by Jim. It's strike 2. High fastball by the right-hand pitcher. Running as fast as he was in the American League. There's nothing wrong with him. And you wonder why the Detroit Tigers would give up on a pitcher like Jim Bunning. Jim has pitched a no-hit game in his career. He has twice led the American League in strikeouts. 2 strike deliveries just outside a slider. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ironically, both times that Jim led the American League in strikeouts, he struck out 201 batters. Now again, the pitch back to the plate. A curveball, a swing and a miss, strike 3. Jim Hickman down for the second time. That is the 3rd strikeout for Bunning. It brings up Ron Hunt. Ron bounced to second base his first time up to drop his average to .332. He started the ball game at .333. He had his 11-game hitting streak stopped by the Phillies in this series. And in the series, he's had 3 hits and 13 times up. Johnny Taylor talking with second base umpire, Frank Sikori. Bunning takes a look around. Taylor says, okay, let's go. And Ron Hunt steps in. Ron with 2 home runs, 19 runs batted in. Phillies lead 2-0. Here's the pitch to Ron. Slider outside off the glove of Gus Triandos. It's ball 1. Phillies scored a run in the first inning. Added 1 more in the second. They have 2 runs on 3 hits. The Mets have no runs and no hits. 1 out, bottom half of the 4th. Now the pitch. Slider again, this time also outside. It's ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. Bunning, 32 years of age. He started pitching in 1950 in professional baseball. His first year in the major leagues, 1955. 2-0 delivery to Ron Hunt. Swung on and missed it. Strike 1. In the American League won 118 games, lost 87. He had 16 shutouts. In his first start in the National League, he struck out the first 3 men that he faced. That was against the Mets. 2-1 delivery, punched out in the right field, down the right field line. If it stays fair, it's extra bases. It's a foul ball. Foul by about 6 feet as Ron Hunt punched that ball right down the right field line. He was off to second base, would have made that with no trouble. What a strike on the swing, and the count now 2 balls and 2 strikes. The American League All-Star team was named today. The Yankees had Elston Howard on it as the catcher. First baseman was Bob Allison of the Minnesota Twins. The second baseman, Bobby Richardson. The shortstop, Jim Pagosi of the Angels. At third base, Brooks Robinson. In left field, Armin Killebrew. In center field, Mickey Mantle. In right field, Tony Oliva. Oliva, the only rookie on the squad. And Tuesday, they'll announce the National League All-Star team, and we're looking forward to seeing whether Ron Hunt will be selected by his opposing players. Ron certainly has the best record going, batting at .332. He's about 100 points over his opposition. Now the 2-2 pitch. Curveball inside. Ron just gets his left arm out of the way, and the count fills to 3-2. Time, there was a long argument about who was the best third baseman in the American League, Brooks Robinson, Malzone, or Cleve Boyer. This year, Boyer solved one problem. He's hitting right down around 150. There's a swing and a miss. He struck him out on a breaking pitch. 2 in a row for Jim Bunning. He now has a total of 4 strikeouts, and with 2 out here in the bottom half of the 4th, the batter is Eddie Kranepool. Ed popped up to the shortstop. His first time up. He's batting .258. Pretty hard to judge from a standpoint of fielding who is the better or the best of the 3. Malzone, Robinson, and Boyer. The only decision left on the batting average. First pitch to Kranepool. It's inside for ball 1. I know Bob Murphy saw a lot of Brooks Robinson when he broadcast the Baltimore ball games, and I would say that Bob would select Brooks Robinson over the 3.
Yes, I would, Ralph. I also saw a lot of Malzone.
Next pitch, a hard swing and a foul tip for strike 2. That's right, he was there when you broadcast for Boston, wasn't he?
He sure was. He broke in when I was there, Ralph, and up until I had a chance to see Brooks Robinson day in and day out. I probably would have said Malzone, but as you've always said, you have to see a player every day to really appreciate him. And Brooks Robinson, to me, is the best scrambler I've ever seen in baseball among the infielders. He just makes play after play.
Next pitch is popped up. Catcher Gus Triandos in front of home plate, calling for it. Kranepool didn't run. Now he goes to first base, but the catch is made, and the side is retired. In the inning, no runs, no hits, no errors, no one left on base. And the score at the end of 4 innings, Philadelphia 2 runs on 3 hits, and that's no runs and no hits. Now once more, here's Bob Murphy.
Okay, Ralph. Thank you very much. We'll be going along to the fifth inning. Philadelphia out in front by a score of 2-0. Last week was quite a week for the Buffalo Bisons of the International League. It's not often in baseball you're called on to play 4 doubleheaders in 1 week, and it's enough to wreck a pitching staff. Buffalo, the number 1 farm club of the New York Mets, had an amazing week. They swept all 4 doubleheaders. They also won a single game for 9 victories in 1 week. That's relying on many of the young pitchers, such as Nick Selma and Ron Lott, outfielder Cleon Jones, who are with the Buffalo Ball Club, to be a part of their future. You'll find a very interesting story about the farm clubs of the New York Mets and the bright prospects in the farm organization in the revised edition of the New York Mets Yearbook, which is hot off the presses and brings you right up to date with the new members of the team. The players such as Roy McMillan, Charlie Smith, Frank Larry, and Tommy Sturdivant, who have joined since the season started. To get your copy by mail, send 50 cents to Mets Yearbook, Shea Stadium, Flushing, New York. Now Jim Bunning is the hitter in the top of the fifth inning. Bunning, not a bad hitter. Hit a hard line drive that Charlie Smith jumped to grab his only time up. Now Tracy out of his windup. The pitch, a curve that swung and missed, strike 1. Bunning over the first 4 innings has been completely overpowering. I remember in 1958 broadcasting a ball game in Fenway Park when Jim Bunning pitched a no-hitter. And it was an overpowering no-hitter. Here's the pitch on the way. A slow grounder to short. Coming in is Charlie Smith. He grabs it, rightens himself, throws the first one down. One away and nobody on. Now the top of the batting order. Johnny Briggs remaining in the dugout as long as he can to give Jim Bunning a chance to catch his breath on this stifling hot day. Billy Traynor waiting with a towel in the dugout to fan and try and cool off Jim Bunning when he comes down to take his seat. Now Johnny Briggs, the center fielder, left-hand hitter and leadoff batter, steps in against Tracy Stoller. Briggs threw a walk. They bunted him over and brought him in with a single in the first inning. He was retired on a pop fly to Eddie Cranepool in the second. Inside and low, 1 ball and no strikes. Johnny Briggs had not started a ball game in his major league career, and he's a rookie, until the Mets were in Philadelphia last weekend. He's had 7 hits altogether, and 6 of the 7 against New York. But most of the games that he has played in has been against the Mets. Curve over, strike 2 call. He looks like a real good rookie ball player. Tracy over the head, down comes the pitch. Slow ground ball down the first base line. Gonder after, throws in time. Big swing by Johnny Briggs, but he just topped a roller down the first baseline, and Gonder really had to hustle to get him out. Now there are 2 away, and that brings up Johnny Hernstein playing first base. Hernstein helped to build a run with a sacrifice bunt in the first. Was struck out in the third inning, 0-1. Cubs and Pirates tied 1-1 at the end of 4.5. Larry Jackson and Bob Veal are the pitchers. Here's the pitch on the way. Curve is swung and missed, strike 1. First game is underway in Cincinnati now. Sandy Koufax against Bob Perky. Sandy 9-4 on the year. He's won 5 in a row. Bob Perky has won 3 and lost 3. The Dodgers are out without scoring in the first inning. First game underway in Milwaukee. Houston got a run off Warren Spahn in the first inning. Braves are the Houston Colt 45s are pitching Bob Bruce, 6-3 on the year. Slow starts are nothing new for Warren Spahn. Over the years, the remarkable left-hander has had to win 12, 13, 14 games the second half of the year to reach that 20-game circle, but he always seems to do it. Pitch thrown to Hernstein. A grounder hit toward the hole to his glove side is Ron Hunt. He snags it, throws to Greenpool, and the side is out. Three up and three down for the Phils, and we've come halfway. At the end of 4.5 innings, the score, Phillies 2 and the New York Mets nothing. Well, we were digging deep into the Rheingold record book for this one. The all-time Major League record for base hits by a player in one ball game, 9 by Cleveland's Johnny Burnett in 1932. Good to know, I guess, in case somebody asks you, but I suppose you could have gotten along without that bit of information, even if you love baseball. But if you love beer, well, here's a fact you have to know. Rheingold is as good to your taste as it is to your thirst because it's brewed extra dry. As a matter of fact, that's all you need to know about beer if you live anywhere along the Rheingold beat. Because there's always Rheingold extra dry, brewed by people who love beer, for people who love beer. Brewed very specially to make Rheingold extra dry smoother, crisper, timelier, completely quenching. Rheingold is as good to your taste as it is to your thirst. Rheingold after Rheingold. Last half of the fifth inning, and Joe Christopher, the batter, against Jim Bunning. Bunning, working on a perfect game, has retired 12 straight men. The tall right-hander delivers a fastball over on the outside corner, strike one. Through the first 4 innings, Jim Bunning has had great stuff and pinpoint control. Nearest thing to a base hit by New York, a liner hit by Somwell, and a ball to the right field corner off Hunt's bat that went foul by a couple of yards. Next pitch on the way, breaking ball over for a call strike, strike 2. Waiting on deck, and then Hawk Taylor. Now here's the wind-up pitch on the way. High pop up out behind the mound. Coming in is the shortstop, Cookie Rojas. He has it on the grass in behind the mound. Jim Bunning erasing Joe Christopher. That'll bring up Jesse Gonder. Jesse fouled out to Gus Triandos his only time at bat. As I recall, in 1958 at Fenway Park when Jim Bunning pitched the no-hitter against the Red Sox. It was such an overpowering no-hit ball game that there wasn't a ball hit real well in the entire game. Jesse Gonder batting, 1 out, nobody on, last half of the 5th inning. Change up, a line drive. Oh, knocked down by Taylor. He throws to first in time. Well, we still have a long way to go in this ball game, but Bunning should pitch a no-hitter. That's the play in the field they'll be talking about. Tony Taylor left his feet, made a head-first dive, knocked the liner down with his glove, then scrambled and had time to throw to first base in time for the out. Phillies are a remarkable defensive ball club. 2 outs and nobody on. The pitch to Hawk Taylor is over a strike on the outside corner. Say, right now, how about a cold glass of Rheingold? It sure would go good. Pour one and enjoy the smooth, crisp liveliness of Rheingold Extra Dry. Pitch on the way. A ground ball hit down to third, fielded by Richie Allen. He fires on to first, and the side is out. And for 5 straight innings, Jim Bunning has cut the Mets down 1, 2, 3. 5 perfect innings. At the end of 5, Philadelphia 2 and New York nothing. Tomorrow, an open date for New York due to the rescheduling of the Mayor's Trophy game. The Yankees will remain in Chicago to make up their game that was rained out on Friday night. And Roberto Clemente will Oliver Stargell, Bob Bailey, and all the cast of the Pittsburgh Pirates are here on Tuesday night for a 3-game series. The Deacon, Vern Law, who shut out New York in Pittsburgh, is down to pitch the Tuesday night ball game. Pirates series Tuesday night, Wednesday, and Thursday will wind up the current homestand. Let's then have a 4-stop road trip that takes them out to the West Coast for the second time this year. The next ball game at Shea Stadium is the All-Star game on Tuesday, July 7th. Right after the All-Star game, the Mets open a homestand against the St. Louis Cardinals. For those of you unable to attend, the Pirates series will be broadcasting all 3 games. Televising Tuesday night and Wednesday, however, the Thursday game will not be televised. Now the Phils have the heart of their batting order coming up. In the top of the 6th inning, the number 3 hitter, Johnny Callison, will lead off. Callison has struck out and lined to right. Phils, 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors. New York, no runs, no hits, no errors. Tries to bunt his way on a foul ball, strike 1. Today is Father's Day, and a lot of the dads have been brought here by their families today for the doubleheader. Now the pitch on the way. Inside and high. 1 ball and 1 strike. Sizzling hot day, Tracy Stallard wipes off his brow as he looks in to get his sign from Gonder. The 1-1 pitch. Long drive hit deep to right center field. That is going, gone. A home run for Callison. The stellar right fielder of the Phils gets a home run over the wall in right center. His 9th home run of the year. He's hit 4 of the 9 against New York. Now Philadelphia 3, New York nothing, and the batter is Richie Allen. Curve on the outside corner, strike 1. Now have 3 runs on 4 hits. Curve over, strike 2. Now Tracy with a 2-strike count on Richie Allen. Richie has singled in a run and drawn a 1. High pop foul. Going over toward the crowd, it's out of play. Richie Allen took the RBI lead on the Philly Ball Club when he singled in Johnny Briggs in the 1st inning, but Johnny Callison now has tied him. Each has 34. Johnny Callison is red hot now. He's hit 5 home runs in his last 10 ball games. Two-strike delivery, swing, and a miss. He struck him out. The bat slipped out of his hands and sailed out past the mound. Third strikeout for Tracy Stallard. The hitter coming on is Wes Covington. Covington has grounded out and been retired on a fine catch running to the right field line of a hard-hit line drive made by Joe Christopher. Covington 0 for 2 as he hits against Stallard. We're in the 6th inning, 1 run in on Callison's home run to right center. Now the windup pitch to Covington. Fastball just missed the inside corner at the letters. 1 ball and no strikes. Way inside. Covington looks it over. 2 balls and no strikes. So far this year in Shea Stadium, the Mets have out-homered the opposition 25-19. The last 2 years playing in the Polo Grounds, the opposite was true. The enemy would out-homer the Mets. Swing and a miss, 2-1. Back into the crowd in the load section down the right field line. So it's 2-2 on John Wesley Covington. Covington, a strong hitter over the years, has had to battle the handicap of injured knees. One away and nobody on. Stoller delivers 2-2. Fastball down low inside, ball 3, and we have a full count on Covington. Heat of the day, perhaps beginning to tell a little bit on Tracy. He has definitely slowed up his pitching pace here in the 6th inning. Now Tracy winding the 3-2 pitch. Ball 4 outside, he walked him. To get a runner for Wes Covington, it'll be Bobby Wine. Bobby Wine will probably go to short, and Cookie Rojas will move to the outfield. Cubs won and the Pirates won at the end of 5. Jackson against Bob Beal. In Cincinnati, Frank Howard has homered in the 2nd to put the Dodgers in front of Cincinnati 1-0. Sandy Koufax pitching against Bob Perky. Houston 1, Milwaukee 0 at the end of 1. Bruce and Warren Spahn are the pitchers. Tony Taylor is the batter, and the curve is fouled away back toward the crowd, out of play. The warm-ups in St. Louis, Jack Sanford 4-7 for the Giants. Veteran Kurt Simmons 7-5 on the year for the St. Louis Cardinals. Warm-ups for the first game at Comiskey Park, Jim Bouton 4-6 against Juan Pizarro 8-3. Yankees and White Sox playing 2 in Chicago. Pitch on the way, a pitch out, nothing was on. In Baltimore, they have found over the years that Saturday doubleheaders will outdraw Sunday doubleheaders, so they played 2 on Saturdays and single games on Sundays. Today, Boston 0, Baltimore 0 at the end of 1. Earl Wilson against Steve Barber. Warm-ups at Minnesota, Dave Wickersham for the Tigers and Dick Stigman for the Minnesota Twins. Fastball inside and high, 2-1 on Tony Taylor. Off first, there he goes on hit and run, a line drive into center, a base hit. Line around, second is holding there, a throw coming in, he gets back. Hit and run single to center field by Tony Taylor, and now the Phillies are threatening with runners on first and second, 1 out. The batter coming up is Cookie Rojas. Bill Wakefield is starting to warm up for New York. Is sacrificed and single to center, 1 for 1. Cookie hitting .361. Bills have a run in on Callison's home run. They lead 3-0. We're in the top half of the 6th inning. High fly ball into right center. Joe Christopher comes in and angles off to his right. He's there and makes the catch. Now there are 2 away, and Gus Triandos gets rid of his catching gear, and he'll be coming on to hit. Big Gus doubled in a run in the 2nd inning. Grounded out 3rd to 1st, his 2nd time at bat. 1 hit and 2 trips. off tomorrow, tangle with the Pirates. Tuesday night at 8 p.m. at Shea Stadium. Now Tracy eyes the runners at first and second. Now the pitch on the way. A line drive base hit through the hole to left field. Wine waved around third. He's coming in to score. The throw goes into second, and the Bills lead 4-0. Triandos delivering his second run of the game. Right here we pause for station identification. This is the New York Mets Baseball Network.
810 on your dial, WGY Schenectady for all the Mets ball games.
Bob Murphy with Lindsey Nelson and Ralph Kiner. Philadelphia now 2 runs in the 6th inning. They lead New York 4-0 in the first game of today's doubleheader, and the batter is Jim Bunning. Bunning is lined to short and grounded out to short, nothing for 2. A high fly ball hit deep to left center. Way out goes Hawk Taylor. Back goes the center fielder Hickman. It breaks off his glove. 1 run is in. Rounding third and heading in is Triandos. 2 runs are in. And the Phillies lead 6-0. Jim Hickman, after a long run, got his glove on the ball on the warning track, but couldn't hold it. It broke off his glove and went against the fence, driving 2 runs home. Now Casey is on his way to the mound, and this may be all for Tracy Stoller. Jim Bunning eating his own cause with a long drive to deep left center, a 2-base hit. Driving 2 runs in and chasing Tracy Stallard from the mound. Phillies now have a 4-run inning in the 6th inning. They lead New York by a score of 6-0. And while Bill Wakefield is coming in to assume the pitching role, we'll check with Lindsey on the scores of the other games.
All right, Bob, in the National League, the Chicago Cubs and the Pittsburgh Pirates are playing a doubleheader at Forbes Field, and the first game's in the bottom half of the 6th inning. The Cubs won and the Pirates won. Larry Jackson against Bob Field. In Cincinnati, it's a doubleheader between the Los Angeles Dodgers and the Cincinnati Reds, and the first game is in the top of the 3rd, and the Dodgers are leading by a score of 1-0. Sandy Koufax is going for the Dodgers, looking for his 10th victory of the season, and Bob Perky is the pitcher for the Cincinnati Reds. Frank Howard homered in the 2nd with nobody on for the Dodgers. The Houston Colt 45s are playing a doubleheader in Milwaukee, and the first game's in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Houston 1, Milwaukee nothing. Bob Bruce against Warren Spahn, and just now Joe Torre has homered in the 2nd inning for Milwaukee to make it a 1-1 ball game. San Francisco Giants are in St. Louis. A later start, a single game, Jack Sanford against Kurt Summons. The American League, the Yankees are in Chicago for a doubleheader against the White Sox. The first game, it is Jim Bowden against Juan Pizarro. That one has not yet begun. The Washington Senators are at Kansas City for a doubleheader, a later start. Boston Red Sox are at Baltimore for a single game. They've played an inning and a half, no score. Earl Wilson against Steve Barber. And just now, John Orsino has homered in the 2nd inning for the Baltimore Orioles, so the Birds go out in front 1-0. The Detroit Tigers are at Minnesota in the latest start. Wickersham against Stigman, and Cleveland is at Los Angeles against the Angels. Right here, the Phillies are leading the Mets by a score of 6-0. Tracy Stallard has just come out of the ball game. Bill Wakefield has come on to replace him. He has 2 more warm-up tosses, and then we'll be set to go. In the second game of today's doubleheader, Frank Larry is scheduled to pitch for the Mets, and Rick Wise is scheduled to go for the Philadelphia Phillies. Now Wakefield has finished warming up. 2 men out here, and once again, coming in to tell you all about the action at Shea Stadium, here's Bob Murphy.
All right, Lindsey, thank you. Johnny Briggs is the hitter now against Bill Wakefield. It's a 4-run inning for Philadelphia on 4 hits. Briggs has drawn a walk, scored a run, otherwise been retired in 2 official trips. Fastball low and outside, 1 ball and no strikes. It's the kind of a day that will wither a pitcher, the temperature at 90 degrees. Jim Hickman almost made the grab on that long drive. He got his glove on it on the warning track, but he was running hard right up against the fence and couldn't hold it. Breaking ball on the inside corner, a call strike. 1 ball and 1 strike on Johnny Briggs. Now to stretch. In comes the pitch. Drive in the air to left field. Taylor hurrying back. Now he's in front of it and makes the catch. The side is out. 4 hits, no errors, 1 left. At the end of 5 1/2, Philadelphia 6 and the New York Mets nothing. Now here's some cool music to have a tall, cool rain go by. Cookie Rojas is now playing short. He comes in from the outfield. Our check that Cookie Rojas goes to left field from short, and Bobby Wine, who came in the game as a runner, is now playing short. Wes Covington checking out of the game in favor of the pinch runner. Charlie Smith, the batter, and the pitch is over. A call strike on the outside corner. Those of you who joined us late, Jim Bunning in 5 innings is pitching a perfect ball game. He has cut down 15 straight hitters. All right-hander, a high fly hit the center field. It's fairly deep. Back goes Briggs. Near the warning track, he makes the catch. Nearest thing to a base hit by New York was a changeup hit by Jesse Gander, a line drive toward the hole, and Tony Taylor made a remarkable diving stop and then threw to first in time to get Gander. One away and nobody on. The hitter is Amato Samuel. Has come out on deck. Slider on the outside corner for a call strike. Bill Wakefield is scheduled up next. Tommy Sturdivant is warming up in the bullpen. High fly ball to short left field. Moving out is Bobby Wine. He's under it now and has it 2 men down. Now Rod Canillo bats for Bill Wakefield. Playing on a jammed ankle that is heavily wrapped. Mets will have a new pitcher in the game when we move to the 7th inning. Knuckleballer Tommy Sturdivant warming up. Number 10. And nobody on. Jim Bunning now has set down 17 straight men. Bunning winding the pitch to Hot Rod. Off the outside corner. 1 ball and no strikes. Phil's led 2-0 and then broke through to get 4 runs in the top of the 6th inning and widen the gap to 6-0. Phil's had a rather slow start last year. Along about this point in the season, they were down around 7th or 8th place, but they had a great second half. This year, tapped as a pennant contender all the way, they're off to a fast start. Right in for a call strike, 1 ball and 1 strike. Breeze has completely subsided, not a factor in the game at all. Ground ball
rake to shortstop. Bobby Wine takes it out of the dirt, throws on, and the side is out. 6 perfect innings by Jim Bunning. He has set down 18 straight hitters, and at the end of 6, the score. The Phillies 6 and the New York Mets nothing. And now for Rheingold Extra Dry, and to follow the excitement of Jim Bunning's performance for you, Lindsey Nelson.
All right, Bob, and fans, you know, when you come out to Shea Stadium, the first thing you realize as you take your seat is that you're going to be comfortable. Escalators bring you right to your seats, and there's not a pillar or a post to mar your view. The spectacular Rheingold scoreboard tells you all you need to know about the game, and even shows pictures of the players for night games as they come to bat. And on that scoreboard, there's a pleasant reminder that makes Shea the perfect place to watch a ball game. Rheingold is as good to your taste as it is to your thirst. Yes, sir, you got it made at Shea, your favorite team, all the latest comforts, and your favorite beer from that friendly neighborhood ballpark center. So wherever you are along the Rheingold Gold Beach, come on out to Shea Stadium. We've got a great seat and a refreshing Rheingold Extra Dry just waiting for you. Tom Sturdivant is now the Met pitcher. The knuckleballer is making his 15th appearance. He has no won or loss record. He has pitched 24 2/3 innings, in which he has given up 32 hits, a total of 17 runs, an earned run average of 6.12. He will be facing John Ernstein, John Callison, and Richie Allen. 6 inning totals for the Philadelphia Phillies. 6 runs on 7 hits and no errors. For the Mets, no runs, no hits, no errors. This is the first game of a Sunday doubleheader. The Mets are off tomorrow, and then the Pittsburgh Pirates come in. On Tuesday night, Vernon Law will be the Pirate pitcher on Tuesday night, and possibly Carl Willie for the Mets. Einstein steps in. He's a left-hand batter. Sacrificing the first inning, struck out in the third and grounded out second, the first in the top half of the fifth. Sturdivant's pitch is in there for a call strike to Ernstein. Ernstein is being used interchangeably in the outfield and at first base. And with Roy Sievers off to a slow start, Ernstein's been a very valuable man on the squad for the Phils. Here's a pitch low. It's 1-1. And the 1-1 delivery is a breaking ball inside. It's 2-1. Sturdivant is primarily a knuckleballer. 2-1 pitch is inside for ball. At 2 p.m., the official temperature here at Shea Stadium was 90 degrees. It's a summer's day, and of course, officially, it's the first day of summer. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Popped up, center of the diamond, and it's chased out by Gonder, and he makes the catch. So Ernstein pops out to the catcher, run away, and that'll bring up Johnny Callison. Struck out swinging, fly to left, and homered over the right field fence. John Callison's red hot these days, hitting 300 for the season. 9 home runs, 34 runs batted in. Sturdivant into the motion. Pitch is swung on and foul back at first. On the ground, out of play. Strike 1 to Johnny Callison. This is a typical shirt sleeve crowd on hand this afternoon. Having the fresh air and the sunshine. One strike delivery. Swung on and lined into right field for a base hit. Joe Christopher's over up with it. Plays it backhand. Callison turns and holds with a sharp single to right. He's 2 for 4. Coming up is Richie Allen with 1 man out and a runner at first. The Phillies are leading by a score of 6-0. Richie Allen singled a drive and a run in the first inning. He walked in the third, and he struck out swinging in the top of the sixth. Runner goes, and the pitch is swung on. It in the air on a hit and run to center field. Hickman is there. Callison comes back halfway and waits, and Hickman makes the catch, and Callison goes back to first. So on the hit and run, Allen is flied out to center, 2 away, and Bobby Wine is coming up now. Wine ran for West Covington. And the top of the sixth, scored, stayed in the ballgame. He went to short, and Cookie Rojas moved out to left field. Rojas is another that has been used all around in the outfield, at short, at third, at second. Callison takes the lead. Sturdivant's pitch. Hit in the air to center field. Jim Hickman comes in. He's there. And he puts it away. At the top of the seventh, no runs, 1 hit. No errors, 1 left, and the score at the end is 6.5. The Phillies 6 and the Mets nothing. Well, you know, we really get a boot out of bringing the Mets games to you fans, and I like talking about Viceroy, too. There's nothing easier than telling folks about something you enjoy yourself. And I'm telling you, I enjoy Viceroy. Viceroy's really got the taste that's right. You know why? Because Viceroy is scientifically made to taste the way you'd like a filter cigarette to taste. Not too strong, like some brands that taste as if they didn't have a filter at all, and not too light, like others that keep you smoking one after another, trying to satisfy your taste. Viceroy is not too strong, not too light. Viceroy's got the deep weave filter for the taste that's right. Next time, pick up a pack, or better still, get a carton of Viceroy. Take it from me, you'll like them. Viceroy's got the taste that's right. We'll be going here to the bottom half of the 7th inning. Through 6 innings, Jim Bunning not only has pitched a no-hitter, but he's pitched a perfect game to this point. The difference being, of course, a no-hitter is just what the name indicates. There are no hits, but a perfect game means that no runner has been on base by any means. Not an error committed behind Bunning, not a walk, not a hit batsman. So Jim Hickman is up now. He's been up twice and struck out both times. We're going to the bottom half of the 7th inning. Let fans want some action. Running pitch, and it's swung on and missed for strike 1. Ron Hutt is on deck. Now Bunning turns, and Tony Taylor moves over about 2 steps to his left at second base. Breaking ball on the outside corner. It's a 2-strike count. The gap in this alignment now is up the middle as Taylor moved a couple steps to his left, and Wine has moved a full stride into the hole at shortstop. Bunning has struck out 4. Of course, he's walked now. And here is the 2-strike delivery. Breaking ball, swung on and missed. He strikes Hickman out for the 3rd time today. 5 strikeouts for Bunning. One away, and Ron Hunt is the batter. He had grounded out second to first and struck out swinging. In the 4th inning, before Hunt struck out, he popped the ball down the right field line, and it looked as though it might be in there for the first base hit, but it missed by a foot or so down the right field line with a foul ball. A big defensive play of the game so far was made by Tony Taylor at second on a drive off the bat of Jesse Gunter in the 5th inning. Taylor lunged to his left, stretched his body out full length, knocked the ball down, didn't make the catch clearly, but knocked it down, then scrambled up and threw on in time to get Gunter. Now Bunning pitch to Hunt. Foul off, and it's strike 1. Hunt has a batting average of .330 for the season. Jim Bunning has a 6-0 lead, but he is aware of the circumstances just as you are and just as we are, and for that reason he'll keep firing down. And now the strike 1 pitch to Hunt. Breaking ball hit on the ground to third. Richie Allen is up with it. He plays on the first in time, 2 away. Right now we're going to step out for station identification. This is the New York Mets Baseball Network.
810 on your dial, WGY Schenectady, for all the Mets ball games.
This is Lindsay Nelson with Ralph Kiner and Bob Murphy. Here at Shea Stadium in New York as Ed Kranepool comes up now for the Mets. He's been up twice. He popped to short, popped out to the catcher. Bunning's pitch is in there for a call strike as Kranepool would take it. Matter of fact, he was moving back on the pitch to take it. And again, Bunning is set. Swing and a foul ball back and out of play. Bunning is out in front for the two-strike count. Looks in now to get a sign from Triandos. This is a two-strike delivery. Swung on and foul back as Kranepool got enough of it to stay alive. Triandos now calls time and goes out to the mound. Ever wonder what goes on at a time like this? After Sandy Koufax pitched a no-hitter against the New York Mets in Los Angeles year before last, we had Sandy on the next day. For the telecast we were talking about, he said John Roseberg came out to him in the 8th inning and said, now be careful. Don't get anything in here too fat because we don't want to lose the no-hitter. Now here is the two-strike delivery, and it's outside for a ball. We point that out simply because every time one of these occasions arises, somebody writes in and says, you aren't supposed to mention a no-hitter. Well, it was a superstition many, many years ago that has gradually been disappearing. And here's the 1-2 pitch. Swung on and popped up, foul, back to the plate. Triandos gets rid of the mask. He's at the barrier, and he has no play. It's in the stands. So the count holds 1-2. Of course, like all superstitions, they're usually based on probability, and the probability of any man who is going for a no-hitter is that he won't get it, because there aren't many. And percentage-wise, the percentage always is that it'll be broken up at any time. So if you mention it and it is broken up, then there's always the thought that I see you jinxed him. Well, believe me, there's nothing we can say up here that'll affect anything happens on the field.
You know, Lindsay, first of all, the ball players don't hear a word about what you say right here on the radio.
There's a swing and a miss, and Kranepool strikes out. Jim Bunning, as again, he sets the side down in order, and he has retired 21 consecutive batters. No runs, no hits, no errors, none left. And the score at the end of 7 full innings is the Phillies 6 and the Mets nothing. And, of course, the Pittsburgh Pirates are going to be coming in here on Tuesday night to play the New York Mets Tuesday night, Wednesday afternoon, Thursday afternoon. Right now, to bring us up to date on scores of other games around the majors, here's Ralph Kiner.
Speaking of Pittsburgh, they are 1-1 with Chicago at the end of 7 innings. Jackson pitching for the Cubs against Bob Beal. That's the first of 2. And the first of 2 at Cincinnati, it's 1-1 at the end of 3. Koufax against Perky, a home run by Howard in the second, with no one on base for the Dodgers. Houston at Milwaukee, the first of 2. The score 2-1 in favor of Milwaukee after 3 innings. Bob Bruce against Warren Spahn. Torrey a home run in the second with no one on. San Francisco scored 2 in the top of the first, but the Cardinals came back with 2 to tie it up at 2-2. Sanford against Simmons. In the American League, the Yankees and a home run by Elston Howard leads Chicago 1-0. After 2 innings, Boston against Pizarro. That is the first of 2. Washington scheduled at Kansas City for 2. Boston at Baltimore. Baltimore leading 1-0 after 3. Wilson and Barber. Orsino a home run in the second with no one on. Detroit 3, Minnesota nothing after 1. Wickersham against Sigmund. Cleveland at Los Angeles. That game starting later on. And right here, it's the top of the 8th inning. The Phillies lead 6-0. And once more, here's Lindsey Nelson.
Thank you very much, Ralph. It's Tony Taylor up now. And the pitch is low for a ball. The 239 batting average for the season. Swings and pops it up in front of the mound, and pitcher Tom Sturdivant comes off to field the bunt. He was trying to bunt his way on, and Sturdivant came off to field it in the air for the out. So that'll bring up Cookie Rojas. Sacrifice single and fly to right. Started playing shortstop, now he's playing left field. Sturdivant's pitch, foul back and out of play for strike 1. Phillies 6th, and that's nothing. But that isn't the big story of the ballgame at this point. The big story here is that through the first 7 innings, Jim Bunning retired 21 consecutive batters. Breaking ball misses outside. 1-1. Is a right-hand batter, and here's the 1-1 pitch. Swung on and foul back. Gonder gets rid of the mask. He's back out the screen, but this one is just over the screen in the second row, and then it takes a big bound back up in the crowd. It's 1-2. And the 1-2 delivery. Swung on and foul back at third. And again, Gonder comes over and so does Somwell, and this one's in the stands. Down holds at 1-2. We're in the top half of the 8th inning. First game of a Sunday doubleheader. Is the third Met pitcher of the day. Tracy Salad started. Bill Wakefield came in, pitched to one man. Here's a swing and a miss. Strikeout for Sturdivant. 2 men out, and Triandos is coming up. Gus has been swinging a big bat today. He doubled a drive and a run in the second, and he singled a drive and a run in the 6th. The 4th inning, he grounded out third to first. Triandos has a season's average of 270. Came over with Jim Bunning from the Detroit Tigers to the Phillies. Pitches inside for a ball. It's 1-0. Stills wanted to back play Dalrymple up in the catching department. That's what they wanted with Triandos. Here's a 1-0 pitch. Outside. Off the glove of Gonder and off the foot of Ed Sudol. So the umpire is now moving around a little to exercise his foot. That ball popped right down off the glove of Gonder onto Sudol's foot. The count is 2 balls and no strikes. 2 men out and nobody on base. 2-0 delivery, and it's a called strike 1. Jim Bunning is in the on-deck circle. Here's a 2-1 pitch. It is in there for a call, strike 2. It's 2-2. Two men out. And the 2-2 pitch. Swung on and missed, and Sturdivant gets another strikeout. Got 2 in the inning. Drives out in order. No runs, no hits, no errors, none left. And the score at the end of 7.5 innings is the Phillies 6 and the Mets nothing. And here's music to quench your thirst spot.
To understand why Rheingold is as good to your taste as it is to your thirst. Extra dry brewing makes the difference. Makes each Rheingold so smooth, so crisp, so satisfying. Rheingold after Rheingold, it's as good to your taste as it is to your thirst. Rheingold tiene rico sabor y refresca mejor. Extra dry. Rheingold tiene rico sabor y refresca. Well, here at Shea Stadium in New York, Jim
Jim Bunning is on the mound. In case you've joined us in the last few moments or any time during the course of this ball game, let us say right here that through 7 innings he has pitched a perfect game. He has not only allowed no hits, he has allowed no base runners. Joe Christopher's going to be up to lead off now for the Mets. The last time a regular season perfect game was pitched in the major leagues, it was 1922. On April 30th, C.C. Robertson of the White Sox against the Detroit Tigers. We mentioned that to tell you what Jim Bunning is shooting for. Now the pitch to the right-hand batter, Joe Christopher, and it is on the outside corner for a call, strike one. Jim Bunning pitched a no-hitter for the Detroit Tigers over the Boston Red Sox, as Bob Murphy told you, on July 20th, 1958. That was a 3-0 ball game. But right here, he winds and fires, and the pitch is swung on and missed. A wild, sweeping curveball. And it's a 2-strike count to Christopher, who has popped to center and popped to short so far today. You recall, of course, the big game of recent years in which Don Larsen of the New York Yankees in the World Series against the Dodgers in 1956 pitched a perfect game. Here's the pitch high and away for a ball. It's 1-2. Jim Bunning has been ahead of hitters for most of the day. I can recall only one time that he's gone to the full count. 1-2 is the count now to Christopher. Breaking ball, swung on and missed. Struck him out. I got number 6. In the bottom half of the 8th inning, there's one man out for the Mets and Jesse Gondich coming up. And a foul out to the catcher in the 2nd inning. He grounded out second, the 1st, and the 5th. But in the 4th inning, he hit that ball on a line. It looked as though it was going to scream out into right field, and Tony Taylor leaped for the ball, knocked it down, and made a play on him. There's a swing and a ground ball to second. Tony Taylor is right there. He's up, and he plays on in time, and Gondich out. Well aware of what is happening now has begun to cheer each foot out, as you are aware, of course, from hearing the crowd reaction. Bob Taylor's coming up. He has flied to right, and he's grounded out third to first. Check the strikeout total we gave you a moment ago for Jim Bunning. He has struck out 7 to this point, and his walks, of course, none. Bob Taylor, who was a big hitting star yesterday, had 4 hits yesterday, including 2 home runs. He's up there as a right-hand batter, and the pitch is outside. He drops his throw to bunt. That's what Richie Allen had a step or two. It also, strangely enough, gets a crowd reaction, an unfavorable crowd reaction, because regardless of where you are, about this time, the crowd begins to pull for the man trying to get into the record book. Here's a 1-0 pitch from Bunning to Bob Taylor. Swung on and missed. It is 1-1 now to Taylor. And you'll find, I think, that this crowd reaction will build probably with each succeeding pitch of the ball game from now on. We're in the bottom half of the 8th inning. The Mets batting with 2 men out and nobody on base. Jim Bunning has retired 23 consecutive batters. He lays his 12 down on the rubber now, straightens out the pants leg of the right leg. Now, ready again, he looks in to get a sign. And here is a 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball, swung out and missed. A good curveball. And it's 1-2. Keep in mind that the pressure has been on Bunning all the way because he has been aware from the first pitch of every circumstance attendant to this ball game. And it is a hot day. At 2 o'clock it was 90 degrees. That is a factor also. Now here is the 1-2 pitch. Way outside, it missed everything. It missed Triandos. And went way outside. As Bob Murphy mentioned, if a man can keep his stuff throughout the entire course of a ball game on a day this hot and get out with the achievement that Jim Bunning is shooting for, it is that much more remarkable. The official temperature, we're told here at 3 o'clock, was 91 degrees. 2 men out. Nobody on base. And a count of 2-2. Jim Bunning again straightens out the pants leg. Looks in for a sign. Starts the motion, and the 2-2 delivery. Swung on and fouled off. Hawk Taylor got just enough of the bat on to stay alive. Already Sudol had given Triandos another ball. Triandos dropped it, chased the one that was in play, but Sudol wants to look at that one, and apparently it has a dark spot, and it's thrown out of the game. So now Jim Bunning goes to work on the new baseball that he has out there. Phillies 6 and the Mets nothing. Jim Bunning is not allowed a base runner in this game so far, and we're in the bottom half of the 8th inning. Here is the 2-2 pitch. Outside. So again, he's gone full now, 3-2. An indication that Bunning has been tiring, and here's the buzz in the stands now. The pitch with which he missed way outside was an indication that his control was beginning to waver, that he was tiring a little. So the count goes full to Hawk Taylor with 2 men out and nobody on base. Jim Bunning starts the motion, the 3-2 delivery. And he's in there for a ball, strike 3. He struck him out. Ball is dropped and he's thrown down to first. It goes 2-3 and the side is out. Hawk Taylor took it. Triandos dropped the ball. And then as Taylor started to first, Triandos tried to tag him, and now fans are up and applauding Jim Bunning. And he's being applauded in the dugout as well as he retires the side and still has a perfect game going through 8 innings. No runs, no hits, no errors, none left in the 8th. And at the end of 8 full innings, it is the Phillies 6 and the Mets nothing. Hey, the tension's building here at this ballpark. We have a good Sunday crowd on hand, and a lot of them came here by public conveyance. I'm sure that you've been here, around here, or to the fair. You know that it's very easy and perhaps the easiest way to get here. Because by subway, you can come right to the stadium via the IRT Flushing Main Street cars that service the World's Fair and Shea Stadium. They leave with great frequency from the Times Square area and from the Grand Central Station. Along on a railroad from Pennsylvania Station in Manhattan, trains stop at the nearby World's Fair Station every half hour after 11 a.m. Long Island is coming from out on the island, can take the Long Island Railroad to Jamaica or on to Woodside, where they can change to a Shea Stadium World's Fair train and right to the stadium. So one of the best ways to get here is by subway or train. Coming out now is Jim Bunning to bat, and listen to the hand he's getting at Shea Stadium. Jim Bunning is getting a hand as he comes out to bat here in the top half of the 9th inning. On May 18th of this year, at Houston, Jim Bunning had a one-hitter. Up there now, a right-hand batter. He doubled a drive and 2 runs in the top of the 6th with a long drive that Hickman got a glove on but couldn't hold. And here's the pitch fired in for a called strike. Tom Sturdivant on the mound for the Mets. And again, Sturdivant's pitch, and it's high and away for a ball. Well, if you're around on the highway, on the beach, or wherever you may be listening to this ball game, stick around. Here's a 1-1 pitch. Swung on and hit in the air to right field. Christopher goes back, and he's there now, and he makes the catch. There's one away. John Briggs will be coming up. But again, a hand for Jim Bunning going back to the dugout. A hand because through 8 innings of this ball game, he has pitched perfect baseball. There has not been a perfect game pitched in regular season competition since it was done in the American League in 1922. Listen to the buzz of the fans in the stands. You can tell what their subject of conversation is. Tom Sturdivant getting a sign now from Jesse Gonder. Here's the knuckleball swung on and fouled off for strike 1. One away, nobody on base. If you want to look ahead to the bottom of the 9th, the Mets are scheduled to send up Charlie Smith, Sammy Somwell, and the pitcher. Again, Sturdivant with the pitch, and it swung on and hit in the air, foul down the left field line, on over in the seats and out of play. Somwell gave it a run to the barrier. It's a 2-strike count now to John Briggs. Settled out on the mound. Also waiting a little bit for a plane to pass over. We are located near LaGuardia here. And here is a 2-strike pitch to Briggs. Swung on it. Missed, and Sturdivant gets another strikeout. That's 3 strikeouts for Sturdivant. And it brings up John Hernstein. He's gone 0 for 3 in a sacrifice. This is the first game of a Sunday doubleheader. In the second game, Frank Larry will pitch for the Mets, and young Rick Wise will be pitching for the Philadelphia Phillies. Sturdivant caught
is to watch the plane fly overhead. And with it safely by, he looks for the sign. Now here's the pitch. Swung on it on the ground to first base. Taken by Cranepool. He's over to tag the bag, and the side is out. So Sturdivant has done a fine job in relief here. No runs, no hits, no errors, none left. Towards the end of 8.5 innings, it's the Phillies 6 to Mets nothing. And here's music to see if the light goes on in the refrigerator by.
There's a lot of living being done, a lot of living and a lot of fun, where true real lovers meet. Along the Rhino beach, Rhino is as good to your taste as it is to your thirst, 'cause it's brewed extra dry. Rhino is as good to your taste as it is to your thirst. So get where the living is being done, where the action is, and all the fun on the Rhino side of the sea. Along the Rhino beach, Rhino is as good to your taste as it is to your thirst,
'Cause it's brewed extra dry.
Rhino is as good to your taste as it is to your thirst. Rhino after Rhino this,
This is Lindsey Nelson at Shea Stadium in New York, where Jim Bunning has pitched a perfect game for 8 innings. Charlie Smith is coming up now for the Mets in the bottom half of the 9th inning. There's been no perfect game since 1880 in the National League. There's a swing of a foul ball back and out of play. So it is strike one to the right-hand batter, Charlie Smith. The last regular season perfect game in the National League was in the year of 1880. The last regular season perfect game in the American League was on April 30th, 1922. So that is what Jim Bunning is shooting at. He knows it. And here is the pitch. It's high for a ball. Everybody in the ballpark knows it. Everybody on the field knows it. Everybody in both dugouts knows it. A count of 1 ball and 1 strike now to Charlie Smith. 91 degrees, the official temperature here at 3 p.m. An exceedingly hot day, and here's the 1-1 pitch. Swung on, popped up, foul. Coming down is Richie Allen, and Triandos is there at the screen. Can he get it? He can't. It's in the first row of the 6th, just behind the screen. So it's 1 ball and 2 strikes now. Gus Triandos had come back, and Richie Allen had made the long run on down from third. But that one just got over the screen and hit in the first row. As a matter of fact, the fellow sitting in the first row got the baseball. Sudol brushes off the plate. Jim Bunning goes to the rosin bag, bending from the waist now, flexes the fingers of the right hand, straightens the cap with the gloved hand. Charlie Smith steps into the batter's box. Nobody on, nobody out in the bottom half of the 9th inning. 24 consecutive batters have been retired in this game. Here's a 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball, it misses way outside. For ball 2, it's 2-2. Jim Bunning has had that curveball going great today. He had a 1-hitter earlier this year. He pitched a no-hitter when he was with the Detroit Tigers. That was in 1958 on July 20th. He pitched it at Fenway Park in Boston against the Red Sox. Here's a 2-2 pitch. Swung on, hit in the air to deep short. Bobby Wine is back there. Chases it across the line in foul territory, and Wine makes the catch. A foul ball. So there's one away, and listen to the crowd reaction. Aware of what Jim Bunning is trying to accomplish. They have begun to cheer his every pitch, and now Altman is going to bat for Samuel. George Altman is being sent up by the Mets to bat for Sammy Samuel. He's a left-hand batter. So now Altman steps in. Tall, rangy, left-hand batter with a season's average of .230. Jim Bunning takes a look around. Bobby Wine getting instruction from the dugout about where to play. George Altman, the left-hand batter. And here's Jim Bunning's pitch. Swung on and a high fly ball to right field. Curving over near the foul line. Chased over by Callison. He's trying to get it, but it's in the crowd about 5 rows deep. Down in right field. So it's a long, high foul ball off the bat of George Altman. And a strike 1 count. Remember the time many years ago when Tommy Bridges of the Detroit Tigers against the Washington Senators went into the 9th inning and got 2 men out, and then a pinch hitter came up and got a base hit? His name might have been Dave Harris. Of course, in the history of the game, there have been many dramatic moments like that. Here is the strike one delivery. Swung on and fouled off. He jammed him, and it was off the handle to the left side, way back up in the stands, and it's a 2-strike count now to George Altman as Jim Bunning goes quickly ahead. Gus Triandos gets the near ball, rubbing it up as he walks out a few feet in front of the plate. Fires it back out now to Jim Bunning. One man out and nobody on base. Phillies leading 6-0, but the big story is the fact that Jim Bunning has retired 25 consecutive batters. Not a base runner. Nobody on by virtue of an error. No walks, no hit batsman. That means the pressure's been on every pitch of the ball game. Here's a 2-strike delivery. Swung out and missed. He took him out. So now, Johnny Stevenson is going to bat for Tom Sturdivant. Johnny Stevenson is being announced now. He's a left-hand batter. Jim Bunning walks around behind the mound, restless, unable to stay still, because he knows what is within his grasp now. Something that has not been done in a regular season National League game since 1880 and has not been done in the Major League since 1922. A perfect game. He starts the motion. Here's the pitch to John Stevenson. Swung out and missed for strike one. In this ball game, Jim Bunning has struck out 9, and of course he has walked none. The crowd now riding on every pitch. Bunning smooths out a little dirt in front of the rubber. He goes to the rosin bag, throws the rubber, rubs the baseball off on his trouser leg. Now looks in to get a sign from Gus Triandos as it starts the no wind-up delivery. The strike one pitch is a breaking ball in there for a call, strike 2. It was a breaking ball, a sharp breaking curveball, and Johnny Stevenson watched it over. So now, again, Jim Bunning goes to the rosin bag. He's standing there on the mound, rubbing the baseball. One pitch away from a perfect game here at Shea Stadium in New York. Again, rubs off his thumb on the trouser leg. Looks in to get the sign. The crowd is up all over this ballpark. They're standing. The 2-strike pitch. It's low for a ball. As Stevenson watched it over. All around this ballpark now. The fans are up and on their feet. As he started the motion, they started rising, and that's a sight to see. The count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. He went to the rosin bag again. Takes a deep breath. Now fills from the waist. Hands on his knees. Throws the rubber. Looks in for the sign. Listen to the crowd. They're up all around. Here's a 1-2 pitch to Stevenson. Outside for a ball, and it's 2-2. Jim Bunning gets the ball now. Walks back behind the rubber again. Goes to the rosin bag. And a hot day at Shea Stadium, the first day of summer. The pressure's set on him on every pitch of the ball game because he knows what he's trying to achieve. The 2-2 pitch. Pack much more excitement into a moment than we had here on that last pitch of the ball game. It is the first National League perfect game since 1880. It is the first perfect game in the Major League since April 30th, 1922, when C.C. Robertson of the White Sox did it against Detroit. You'll recall that Don Larsen of the Yankees pitched a perfect game against the Dodgers, but that was in World Series competition, October 8, 1956. That is the third National League no-hitter of this year. Ken Johnson had one against Cincinnati, and he lost it. Sandy Koufax had one against the Philadelphia Phillies. That is the second no-hitter that's ever been pitched against the New York Mets. Sandy Koufax pitched one against the Mets on June 30th, 1962. The final totals of this ball game: the Philadelphia Phillies 6 runs on 8 hits and no errors. The New York Mets no runs on no hits and no errors. The fans are up and chanting, "We want Bunning." I think they're going to get him because Ralph kind of wants to talk to him down on the field on the television side, and he's going to be down to try to get him. Of course, the photographers have Bunning in the dugout right now. The wire turns. Here's service photographers. Not still trying to get shots of the man who has pitched a perfect game in Major League competition. It is the second no-hitter of his career. As we've told you before, he pitched one against the Red Sox in 1958. But this is a big, big day for Jim Bunning. He had a one-hitter against the Houston Colt 45s on May 18th this year. He almost got the no-hitter. But today, he not only got the no-hitter, he also got the perfect game here at Shea Stadium against the New York Mets. And so, Jim Bunning, of course, becomes the first modern pitcher to pitch a no-hitter in both the major leagues. Cy Young did it. He pitched a no-hitter in both the American and National Leagues. But Jim Bunning is the first pitcher of modern times to pitch a no-hitter in the American League and then pitch a no-hitter in the National League, adding to it a perfect game performance, which is, of course, the preeminent performance for a pitcher in the game of baseball. This is the first game of a doubleheader here at Shea Stadium, and in the second game, Frank Larry is scheduled to pitch for the New York Mets. You know, Frank Larry and Jim Bunning were roommates for many years on the Detroit Tigers, so it's been a great day for Jim Bunning. And now his wife has come out of the stands. Here is Mrs. Bunning, who has come out, and here's a big kiss for Jim. That is his wife, who just came out of the stands. She came up from Philadelphia, and she's standing there beside him now, and there comes his daughter. On Father's Day, his daughter with a big kiss for Jim Bunning. He has 7 children, and what a dance day it is for Jim. Mrs. Bunning and one of the daughters, and Jim is smiles from ear to ear. His family arrived just last Sunday in Philadelphia. He lives in Fort Thomas, Kentucky, just across the river from Cincinnati. And, of course, they waited until the kids were out of school, brought them up just last Sunday, last weekend, to Philadelphia. I was talking to Jim before the ball game. He said the family had just arrived, and we saw them there then. And now his wife and part of the family came up this afternoon, and Jim Bunning is giving a hand as he leaves the field. Supposing the daughter, they want a big kiss from the daughter to Jim on Dad's Day. And what an occasion this is for him. A perfect game performance. His daughter gives him the kiss again. Now his wife gives him the kiss again. Everybody's all smiles on the field. This is the first no-hitter by a Philly pitcher since May the 1st, 1906. Here's a hand from Bunning as he goes back to the dugout now. Heading on back into the locker room. What a first game performance for him. Rick Wise is going to pitch the second game again. The Phillies 6, the Mets nothing. A perfect game pitched by Jim Bunning. And that's about all we can say about this performance here today. A tremendous performance by Bunning. Of course, we're going to be back here to bring you the second game of today's doubleheader. We'll return to Shea Stadium in just a few moments. Right now, we return you to your local station.